Hi folks, welcome back to Ibrox after Rangers 2, Dundee United 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Here to look back on the game, basically just talk about Malik Tillman. 2 more goals for him today, another fantastic performance. Putting my match ratings after the game, it's another game where Malik Tillman's been the best player for Rangers. I feel like we've been saying that quite a lot this season. Rangers in control, I think pretty comfortable. I can't think of aside from the first 20 minutes where Dundee United didn't have any shots really, but they had a few kind of breakaway moments. One of which where Peter Pollock kind of looked to square the ball across the face of goal. Ben Davies just managed to get a block in. Aside from that, can't think of too much that Alan McGregor had to do. Maybe spare one shot late on. Obviously, he was making his 500th appearance for the club. He was named man of the match, but I think that was more to do with the occasion rather than the actual performance. But today was all about Malik Tillman. Rangers, I thought, started the game pretty flat. Overall, I think it's the type of game that if you add a couple of goals in the second half, and let's be honest, Rangers should have from the opportunities they had in transition in that second half. Fashion Sakala should maybe make a better decision on a couple of occasions. Ryan Kent hits a crossbar and then misses a much easier chance. He too, on the breakaway, a couple of moments that could have ended better for him. But it took a real moment of magic from Todd Cantwell actually to open the Dundee United defence, which was quite resolute. Rangers hadn't created much in the opening 35 minutes. It was a Goldson pass into the feet of Cantwell, who just reversed it around the corner, and Malik Tillman managed to get on the end of it and get finished. Tillman was playing slightly higher up the pitch, a little bit more freedom, and I thought he was excellent today. By far and away, Rangers man of the match. I don't think any of the 49,000 or so who were in attendance here today would have picked anyone other than Malik Tillman. Todd Cantwell, a good performance, and Ben Davies, I thought he was really good as well, did what he had to do and good on the ball as ever. But Tillman playing slightly higher up the pitch with more license to roam, license to get in the box. He created 5 chances, 6 successful dribbles, 4 shots, 2 goals, 6 ball recoveries. He was just ever really dominant. But as we kind of spoke about before the game, he was able to shoot more often. I think it was 5 shots he had today. He's averaged only 2 this season. And the second goal, I see a comment here from Brian, need to learn to start having a shot more. Rangers did have 28 shots today, but I think the second goal from Tillman's all about him. It is all about him taking a shot from an angle where it looked like there was 2 players in his way. He waited for the opening, which is something you see him do quite a lot. He doesn't snatch at things. He's always a player that I think of kind of quality over quantity with him, and manages to make it 2-0 for Rangers. It should have been more. It definitely should have been more on the day. Rangers, as I say, though, pretty comfortable, and Tillman absolutely the standout. Right, let's get through some of the comments here, and I imagine a lot of them will be about Malik Tillman. Well, they're saying sign Tillman up. RFC 56 is at Tillman level on goals with Morelos this season. Don't know off the top of my head, but he is on 10. I can't imagine that Morelos is too many more than that. I think Morelos probably should have scored in the first half with one of his 2 back post headers. He had a chance just before he went off. I don't think he had a terrible performance. I thought he was fine. I thought he was okay. He held the ball in relatively strongly at points. I think, as has eluded him quite a lot under Michael Beale, unable to get that goal at home. Mentioned here for Todd Cantwell, saying Cantwell's class, Tillman must be signed up. Yeah, I don't think if there is anyone out there still saying that Rangers should not sign Tillman, then credit to you for sticking to your guns. But I think the majority of people are of the opinion that that money would be well spent keeping him at Ibrox for the remainder or for into next season, I should say. Beale said that in his post-match press conference, and I believe speaking to Sky and BBC as well, that further talks would be held over the international break, and they'd been positive. He spoke about his relationship with Tillman being really good, Tillman enjoying his football here. Important to remember, as ever, he's still only 20 years old, but I really liked him in that higher position today, kind of in front of Cantwell, who I thought had a quiet opening half hour, but then again has that moment of quality to see that pass and turn it around the side, and obviously execute it as well for Tillman to get the goal. Well, they're saying 12 goals and 5 assists this season, which I presume is for Tillman. So RFC 56, they're making a good point of, if you do sign Tillman up, what could his return value be one day? 30 million there, which is obviously on the high end of things. But I do think you've got to think of, if you were watching Tillman and he wasn't at Rangers, how much would he be worth in an open market just now? Probably more than the reported fee that Rangers are set to have agreed an exclusive purchase option on him for. You've got to remember this is his first season. He's actually only played, I think, 4 of the last 11 games, Beale was saying in this post-match press conference, alongside Cantwell and Kent. And obviously Nico Raskin wasn't fit today, but I think that's a really exciting midfield going forwards. SB442 here raising a good point. Morelos or Čolak next week? I'd be surprised if it's Čolak because he didn't start today. Beale was kind of keeping his cards close to his chest, as you would imagine. But I think off the back of today, you can't argue with the point that, as James says here, it has to be Tillman up top. Tillman has to play, surely. I think if we think of that team next week, the kind of back four, I think, probably picks itself because of what it was today. Obviously, Alan McGregor making that appearance, 500 appearance to date for the club. He's going to start on goals. You're going to have 2 of Jack and Kamara and Raskin and Lundstrom in there. Hopefully Nico Raskin is back fit and available for that. I think Todd Cantwell keeps his position in the midfield. So then you think if you've got Morelos, Sakala, Kent and Tillman, you have 4 players in there for 3 positions. Sakala, I think away from home is such a threat in space. I think he probably has to play as well, you'd argue. So who do you start? Morelos and Čolak, you presume one of them will play because they always have done. But I find it hard to kind of envision a scenario in which Tillman does not start at Celtic Park next week. So a good problem for Beale to have heading into that one. Duncan Neer saying on the game today, we just lacked a killer touch. Yeah, definitely. Tavernier had a good couple of opportunities as well. I think if you... it's a type of game, and we've seen a lot of these types of games. The St Johnstone game at home back end of January stands out to me as well as one of these. If Rangers put a couple of those second half chances away, it becomes a bit of a different tone after the game. But overall, I think it was the type of game that you expect when you come to Ibrox. You know that an opposition team is going to try and come and sit in and limit opportunities, and you've got to set the tempo outside of that. In the first half, I don't think Rangers were brilliant at that, but obviously they got the points towards the end of the game without scoring any more goals. Well, they're saying, what about Tillman as a false 9 next week? Yeah, lots of options. Morelos was handed his chance today. Beale spoke about that first before the game, saying that obviously Čolak and Sakala had been in there. It was time for Morelos to have his chance. As I say, I don't think he had a standout game kind of to either side of the scale. I don't think he was really bad. I don't think he was really good. I think he was fine in there. My money would probably be on him being the one that plays in there as the number 9 next week, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think Evan will be crossing their fingers that Nico Raskin is back ready and available in the midfield for that Old Firm game. Right, I'm going to leave it there before I get chucked out of Ibrox. Just a reminder that you can subscribe to the website at the moment, just £2 for 2 months to support our work. It's free to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll have loads of content tomorrow on the website. We've got a great piece by Derek speaking about people who worked with Alan McGregor before he kind of started playing at Rangers, so at Hutchie Vale, Dunfermline, and I think there might be one other club that Derek spoke to a member of as well, but kind of just looking at, maybe it was from McGregor spells St Johnstone, looking at his loan spells, the kind of making of him, what he was like as a young player after he hit that significant milestone today. We'll have B-team coverage from here as well, obviously an Old Firm B-team game tomorrow, as well as all the stats from today's game. So do make sure you're signed up to the website. You can keep up to date with us on all our socials. Until then, thanks very much for